I am so excited because I get to teach you more about factoring trinomials, especially when there is a number in the coefficient right there in front of the x squared. So here you go, so easy. If you haven't already watched my other video, dude, you gotta watch that. This is the Nerdy Math Girl. Go to factoring trinomials because it is easy and you're gonna wanna know how to do it my way because, well, it's the best. Anyway, so now if you know how to do that other one, then you will be able to understand this. So here's the difference. When you have a number right here, okay, a number right, the other stuff was only if you had x squared, not 5x squared. So you're gonna take this and you're gonna multiply it times the end. So we have x squared minus 13x minus 30, okay? That's where we start. And now we treat it like it's from the other video from factoring trinomials. So if you remember that, x, the first sign is negative, the second sign is different from the other one. So this one is different from that one, so that's plus. You want two numbers that multiply to give you 30, that subtract to give you 13, right? So again, if you can't remember that, there's 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6, that's what gives you 30. So subtract to give you 13 is gonna be 5 and 2, or 15 and 2, put the bigger one first. Okay, so that's where we were kind of from last time. But now you multiplied this 5 times the end, and this time now you have to divide by it, because once you multiply, you have to also divide, so you do it and undo it. And so I'm gonna divide right here by 5. Okay, so it looks a little bit weird right now. If it'll reduce, you reduce it. So 15/5 reduces to 3. Okay, if this doesn't reduce, then you take this and you slide it up in front. Okay, so instead of x plus 2/5, we take that 5 and move it up here, and we get 5x plus 2. And this is how that factors. If you multiplied it out, if you FOILed it, first times first gives you 5x squared. Outside times outside is positive 2x plus negative 15x on the inside. That gives you negative 13x. Last times last is negative 6. Okay, so there you go. I love this. Okay, so the first time anybody ever showed me this, it was another teacher, and I was like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work all the time. It does. It made me so happy. Because now, you know what, factoring is just a process. When I was learning factoring, it was all trial and error. And frankly, there were too many errors. And so I love that this always works. Okay, so again here, very similar kind of problem. We're gonna take that 10 and multiply it times the end. So we have x squared minus 13x plus 30. All right, we're gonna factor it just like we did in the last video. X, the first sign is negative. The second sign is the same as the other one, so it's the same as this one. Multiplies to give you 30 and adds to give you 13. Multiplies to give you 30 and adds to give you 13. It's not 15 and 2, because that subtracts to give you 13. So adds to give you 13 is 10 and 3. We put the bigger one first. And then don't forget, because we're sliding, we're using the slide method. So if we multiplied that 10 initially, now we have to divide by the 10. So we're going to divide each one by 10. If it reduces, then you reduce. If it doesn't reduce, okay, then you take that 10 and you slide it up. You get 10x minus 3. And if you FOILed this, you would come back to that. I'm saying, I know you're having a blast. I know. You're sitting at home going, where has she been my whole life? Okay, here I am, right here. Okay, look at this one up here. We have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. So I'm gonna take the 2, multiply it times the end. X squared plus 3x minus 10. Factor this, so x, the first sign is positive. The second one is different from the first. So that's positive, this will be negative. Two numbers that multiply to give you 10, that subtract to give you 3. 5 and 2, put the bigger one first. Don't forget, this is what happens sometimes. You learn the slide method and you get to right here and you're like, hey, I'm done. You're not done. You're not done because you multiplied by that 2, now you're gonna have to divide by the 2. Okay, this 2 is gonna slide on up, so we have 2x plus 5, I don't know what that is. This reduces down to just x minus 1. All right, coming on over here, we have 8x squared plus 6x plus 1. I'm gonna multiply my 8 times the end, x squared plus 6x plus 8. Factor that, x plus, right? First one's positive, the second one's the same. Multiplies to give you 8, adds to give you 6 is 4 and 2. Okay, so you're gonna have to divide, you had that 8, so now you're divided by the 8. Now look, you have to reduce first. I'm just getting rid of this one because this one, frankly, it's in my way. Okay, so we have one less problem to do. We're going so fast. Okay, so you have to reduce this stuff before you can slide it. So x plus 4/8, that reduces to x plus 1/2. X plus 2/8, that reduces to x plus 1/4. And then you slide. So sliding the 2 up, 2x plus 1. Sliding the 4 up, 4x plus 1. So always reduce. Sometimes it'll reduce down to just a whole number, an integer. But sometimes you have to reduce the fraction first and then slide it. Okay, so I want to show you this one other one because, again, this, if you saw the last video, it's just stupid to have the 0 here, but I want you to understand how it works. So if there were a 0, now this probably would have looked initially like this, okay? It's a difference of squares, and many of us just know how that factors, that that's 3x minus 4 times 3x plus 4. But I'm going to show you how it looks with this. So first of all, there's no middle term, so you would create a middle term, which is 0x. Right? This could be minus, it could be plus, it really doesn't matter right here. Plus 0, minus 0, no, who cares? Okay, so we take the 9 and multiply it times the end. X squared minus 0x minus 16 times 9 is 144. And then we're going to factor like we planned to. First sign here is negative, second one is different. Different from the other one, right? Not that these two are different, these two are different. Multiplies to give you 144, subtracts to give you 0. 12 and 12. But you're not done. Divide by what you dropped, divide by this 9, and then you have to reduce. So I'm going to come over here so you can see it. So 9/12, 3 goes into both of those, so x minus 4/3 and x plus 4/3, right? That's what this reduces into. And then we slide the bottom over, 3x minus 4 and 3x plus 4. You're never going to see anybody put that 0x there. It's going to start off looking like this, but as long as you understand that this means that, then you don't feel like you're doing something new and different, right? It feels like the same old, same old. Aren't you so happy? This was probably the greatest part of your whole day. I'm so glad I got to spend it with you. Bye.